Okay, so this is a continuation of the first video that I did about my auto water change system, and I was showing you this rack about 3 months ago now, and at that time this is just a blank section. So I have finished this, and to the left I have a 10-gallon tank that's on the auto water change system, and then to the right of it we have a 5-gallon there, another 5-gallon that is not on the auto water change system. We got a 2.5 for birthing guppies, and we'll take a close look there and see all the fry that are in there. So I put a female in there, ribbon fin female, to drop. After she dropped, I moved her out. This tank here is another 2.5. I had a female tuxedo koi guppy in there. She also dropped, and there's not a lot of fry, but I'm told that strain is fairly low in reproduction rate. This tank here, this 2.5 here, there's nothing in it now. That's because I'm still waiting for my filters to come from China, hence the reason why it's green. And then to the right here is another 10-gallon tank that's on the auto water change system. Lots of black Moscow guppies waiting for their fry to drop. So I'm going to take you up closer. You can see there is a fourth 2.5 back there that's also green because I'm waiting for another filter from China. So what's kind of neat here is these tanks here, so the 2 5.5s, the 4 2.5s, they're not an auto water change system, but what I've done to make my life easier is this is a catch basin here. As you can see, I got a measuring cup there that I used to scoop the water out, and I also used to put nets in after I move things around. It's going to be harder to see, but inside there's a bulkhead there. So when I put water inside that container there, that drains out the plumbing that goes down below into the main 2-inch drain that connects all the other tanks. So that's the continuation of that. The bottom row that we've shown you before. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause you, and I'm going to show you another thing that I've done in the main Fishroom, the original one, on the second rack, when I talked about, and also this video that I mentioned in the beginning of this video, that I was considering about putting a third level in, maybe changing the middle row, putting a catch basin. So we'll go look at all that in a minute here. Okay, so we're back in the original fish room here, and this is the second rack that I made. And you can see that the original 20s that are in the middle row that I had talked about getting rid of and going with some 15s and bringing that middle level up, I decided to leave that, and I was able to get a row on the bottom here, and I put in 4 15s, and I was able to get it so that the bottom drains of those tanks actually still are above the main 2-inch line, and they connect no problem. And then the other thing that I did, which I also talked in my last video that I did in the one rack, and you can see better here, especially the way the spacing is. So we have pond liner that's underneath this bottom row. Comes all the way at the sides. I still have to put my trim on the front here and trim this liner. So I'll have that about a 1-inch or so gap. So if I have a big flood down here, it's going to collect it all. But right now, you can see the bulkheads that are connected to this liner. So if any of the tanks from the top, the middle, or even the bottom go, and also you can see that this liner goes in behind the 2-inch drain line, so that you can see one of my connectors, well, not very well, but let's see if I can get a better picture of it for you. Okay, so there's 2 drain lines coming from the upper area, and so the pond liner is in behind. So it's in behind that piping. So if the piping ever has any issues with the hosing that are coming down to it, it catches all that water and puts it down to my basins. So what I did for this one, I couldn't do the 20-gallon basins that I have in the third rack in the other room. So I have these ones here. They hold around, I believe, 15, 16 gallons, which is more than enough. And there is 2 of them. Because the bracing in the center separates that. So basically, this section between these 2 tanks will catch the water, and then this section here will catch it in another basin. So that's an update on everything I've done since my second last video. As you can see, that finished that project out on that second rack, the middle level done. Talked about what we did in the bottom row here. My last video, I showed off the improvements to the auto water change system, and how all the tanks are all now set up. So I just wanted to give you guys an update. I will do a complete video soon. I just want to move around some stuff. Just waiting for the bottom tanks to get a little more biologically mature, even though they're seated filters. So once that's done, I'll move some stuff around and we'll do a complete tour of all the tanks, because I am now up to 35 tanks. Only 29 of them are 10 gallons and above, but it's still a good amount of tanks. So I'd just like to say, everybody, please like, share, and subscribe. It really helps me out. I would love to do live videos, just to get people's feedback, and it just takes so much time to edit that, I can just pop on a Friday night, do a quick 10-minute, 5-minute live stream. It would just be so much easier for me, and I could do things a lot more often. But unfortunately, with YouTube, you can't do that until you have 1,000 subscribers. I'm only at 27 right now. Appreciate everybody that has. Please share it. There's lots that we could do with this room. There's so many more things to share. There's a lot of things we could talk about, especially in a live stream. I will be doing some more Fishroom tours soon. I got a couple people lined up in the next few weeks. And there's a lot of other things that we could do as well. Just, leave some comments below what some other things you'd like to see in my fish room. And we'll just take it from there. So, again, thank you very much.